Brian here, and I see that we're into the 9th of the 7th for 2015, 7th month of the year. Just amazing, one year just after another. Anyway, time to have a bit of a catch-up. News, financial news, what's happening here in Wellington, of course, is snow falling to 100 metres, and it's really cold. This is midwinter down in the Antipodes, so we have to button up. And I've got my wonderful sheepskin coat, which I inherited from my very dear friend Leon Zana. Gone now, but never forgotten. Anyway, China is possibly the major player in the world financial economic community, and of course China is now in serious trouble and possibly going to take the rest of the world with it into what has often been talked about as the Great Depression of 2015. So there are some really serious structural matters that have not been addressed, and they are to do with our whole picture, our world view about how economy functions, what it rests on. The fact that we've entered into post-peak oil, and we can no longer have this continuous growth and expansion that we've experienced off and on. I mean, the thing is that the irony is that through recessions, the depressions, the wars over the last 100 years, the obvious seems to have just fallen off the radar. The obvious that a lot of the conflicts have developed as a consequence of unresolved economic and serious financial issues, and the fact that we are a monolithic fuel-based culture. Even now, as I talk, and as we enter into another serious financial crisis, the problem of energy has kind of like just dropped below the horizon. It's not really regarded in a critical and serious way, and in fact it's probably far more serious than the climate issues. Climate change, sea level rising, all of these things are definitely going to impinge more on us. But the fact that we have got ourselves into this debt-driven economy, which in the end is just absolute madness, but it seemed to be a good thing, and it was part of a creation of wealth and so forth. In fact, if you tell people basically what was happening and they get a clear understanding of it, they'll actually shake their heads, because, you know, the problem is that it's daft. The whole economic and financial system is just daft. It's out of this world. The sooner we get back to understanding that a lot of the wash that's come out in terms of rhetoric and so forth, greenwash, talk about sustainable and sustainable development, of course, which was an oxymoron, but the regenerative philosophy that's required to be employed in constructing a new, if you like, financial system, so far is barely understood, but it is the only direction we can go in. So oil prices are going to continue to remain lower than they should be as a consequence of this recession that we're never going to get out of, and is now turning into a depression. It's really, really gloomy stuff. And yet one can only just fall back on some really basic principles of, as everything starts to break up, the financial system, the social order. Because, of course, unless you can get taxation, you can't have a state. Can't have a country without taxation. And one of the issues, of course, of the Greeks, interesting people, but seem to resent paying tax. And they all want to have welfare and support. But that is actually kind of, as I've said, you know, a pretty minor issue compared to the unwinding of the Chinese economy. Huge, massive economy. Also built on debt-based. And they got sucked in and they're making things that we don't need. And this whole thing, you know, Sitting Bull, he said that white man could do anything, but he hadn't worked out how to share. And I guess basically, you know, it comes down to that, is actually we have plenty for our needs, and we could live well, but we don't share. And so we have these terrible inequities that have actually become kind of almost institutionalized. Okay, so I'll be interested to hear what the little team on the other side of the world have been thinking, because this, although this video is going to go out on YouTube to everybody, it is more or less directed towards our restricted group, which is called Our Hidden Reality. It is restricted because a lot of the stuff that is put out on social media, the way that people behave is less than acceptable. So we've restricted our communication. So this is sort of kind of like a one-way thing for those people who know me well on YouTube. They're used to having these broadcasts. But as I said, it's particularly directed towards the good folk on the other side of the world, mostly in the UK, thinking very much about you, Justin and Dave, John, Al. Look, the fact that Al's joined the group and is very open about the way she confronts life is refreshing. Nick is having a few issues. I guess he's having to work quite hard at the moment. And, well, there we go. So I'm going to get back to another important task, and that was I was making soup. Going to have a friend around for lunch, and then I'm going to prepare for our trip to the Redwood Forest with the bicycles, and we're going up there tomorrow. So Redwood Forest, Rotorua, beautiful place. Nothing like the Redwood Forest in the US, but it's getting there. Okay, until next time.